5 years ago, two best friends made the exact same New Year's resolution. Today, one runs a six-figure business, competes in triathlons, and has the life they always dreamed of. The other is still Googling how to stay motivated and hasn't moved an inch. Same starting point, same dream, radically different lives. Here's what nobody tells you. The one who's still stuck? She did everything right according to conventional wisdom. She watched the motivational videos. She visualized her goals. She wrote in her journal. She waited to feel ready before taking action. And that's exactly why she's still at the starting line. Because motivation is a drug. It gives you an incredible high. You feel unstoppable. You can see the finish line. You're absolutely certain this time is different. And then 2 weeks later, you wake up on a Tuesday and the feeling is just gone. And you think that means something's wrong with you. But here's what a friend understood that she didn't. Motivation doesn't build empires. Discipline does. Not the white-knuckle, suffer-through-it kind of discipline. Something way more powerful and way simpler. By the end of this video, you're going to see exactly what happened in those 5 years. The tiny daily choices that create a chasm between two identical lives. And more importantly, you're going to learn the exact system that turns ordinary people into the version of themselves they didn't think was possible. The one that worked when motivation failed. Let's go. December 31st. New Year's Eve. Maya and Jordan are at the same party, counting down to midnight with everyone else. But while everyone's thinking about champagne and confetti, these two are somewhere else entirely. They've been best friends since college. Same age, 27. Same struggles. Maya's been stuck in a job she tolerates but doesn't love. Jordan's in the exact same position at a different company. They both look in the mirror and see someone who's let themselves go a bit. They both have this side business idea they've been meaning to start for 2 years. They're tired of being the same person they were last year and the year before that. So at 11:47 p.m., 13 minutes before midnight, they make a pact. Maya grabs a napkin and writes it down. This year, we actually do it. Get fit. Build the business. Become who we're supposed to be. Jordan signs it. They both do. January 1st arrives. 6 a.m. Both of their alarms go off. And here's what's important. They both get up. Maya laces up running shoes she bought 2 years ago that still look brand new. Jordan pulls on gym shorts that have been sitting in his drawer since last March. They both head out into the cold morning air. At work that day, they're both distracted in the best way. Maya's on her lunch break researching business registration. Jordan's sketching out a website wireframe on a legal pad during a boring meeting. That night, they text each other. Maya, day one white heavy check mark feels different this time. Jordan, same. Let's go. Week 1, they're both crushing it. Maya's up at 6 a.m. every single day. Meal prepping on Sunday. She buys a domain name for her potential coaching business. She's watching YouTube tutorials on marketing. She posts on Instagram. Day 7 of the new me flex biceps. Jordan's trajectory is identical. Gym every morning. He's cut out the late-night junk food. He's spending 2 hours after work building his freelance design portfolio. His sketch pad is full of ideas. They FaceTime on day 10. Dude, why didn't we do this sooner? Maya's face is flushed from a workout. She's energized, almost euphoric. Jordan laughs. I know, right? I feel like a completely different person already. And here's the thing. They're not lying. They're not exaggerating. In this moment, they genuinely do feel transformed. Because motivation, real, genuine motivation, is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. When it's present, it makes the impossible feel inevitable. They both believe, in their core, that this time is different. And for exactly 23 more days, they're right. Let me tell you what the first month of genuine motivation feels like. It feels like you've discovered a cheat code to life that everyone else is too lazy to use. Maya is that person at work now. She brings her meal-prepped lunches in matching containers. She turns down happy hour to work on her business plan. Her co-workers notice. Wow, you're really committed. They say it with equal parts admiration and suspicion. She doesn't care. She's got that tunnel vision that comes with clarity. She's watching YouTube videos about sales funnels at 10 p.m. She's reaching out to potential clients, even though she doesn't have a finished service yet. She's reading books on personal branding while on the treadmill. Jordan's in the exact same flow state. He's waking up before his alarm goes out of pure excitement to get to the gym. He's turning down weekend plans because he's in the zone with a design project. He lands his first freelance client. Just $500, but it's proof. It's evidence that this isn't just a fantasy. They text each other daily updates like war correspondents, sending dispatches from the front lines. Maya, down 7 pounds. And I got my first inquiry call. Rocket. Jordan. Bro, I deadlifted 225 today. And finished the Johnson logo. This is crazy. By week 4, they're both convinced they figured out something fundamental about human nature that most people never learn. It's all mindset, Maya tells her sister over coffee. You just have to decide and commit. People make it so complicated. Jordan's saying the same thing to his roommate. Honestly, I think most people just don't want it bad enough. Once you flip the switch, it's easy. And here's the part that's important to understand. They're not wrong in this moment. Motivation is a spectacular rocket launch. The ignition, the thrust, the acceleration, it's real, it's powerful, it's undeniable. Watching someone in the first month of genuine motivation is like watching someone discover fire. Everything lights up. The problem isn't that motivation doesn't work. The problem is that motivation is fuel, and fuel runs out. By February 3rd, day 34 of their transformation, both Maya and Jordan are absolutely certain they've changed permanently. Maya journals at night. I'm not the person I was 34 days ago. That old version of me is gone. This is who I actually am. Jordan posts on social media. 1 month down. If you told me a year ago I'd be this person, I wouldn't have believed you. Grateful. Folded hands. The comments pour in. So inspiring. You're crushing it. Needed to see this today. They both fall asleep that night with the deep satisfaction of people who escaped the prison everyone else is still trapped in. They have no idea that the real test hasn't even started yet, because there's an old proverb that every master knows, but every beginner forgets. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor, and their sea is about to get very, very rough. February 8th, week 6, Tuesday morning. Maya's alarm goes off at 6 a.m., same as it has for 38 consecutive days. But something's different. She opens her eyes and the fire isn't there. For the first time since January 1st, her first thought isn't let's go. It's, ugh. She lies there for a moment, doing a mental scan. She's not sick. Nothing's wrong. She just doesn't feel it today. The bed is so warm. The room is cold. Her legs feel heavy. And that voice, you know the one, starts this negotiation. You've been going for 38 days straight. Missing 1 day won't matter. You're probably overtraining anyway. Rest is part of the process. You'll go tomorrow when you have more energy. And here's what makes this moment so dangerous. Every single one of those thoughts is technically reasonable. Rest is part of the process. 1 day doesn't matter in the grand scheme. She has been working really hard. The thoughts aren't lies. They're just convenient truths. Maya makes a decision that feels small. I'll rest today and go tomorrow. She turns off the alarm. She sleeps until 7:15. She rushes to get to work on time. It's fine. It's 1 day. It's not a big deal. Now, 3 miles across town. Jordan's alarm goes off at 6 a.m. Same Tuesday. Same week 6. He opens his eyes. And, you know what? He feels the exact same way Maya did. Tired. Heavy. Not feeling it. He lies there. The same negotiation begins in his head. The same reasonable arguments. But then something different happens. Not something dramatic. Not a burst of motivation or a motivational speech playing in his head. Just a different kind of thought. This is one of those days. That's it. That's the whole thought. He doesn't try to feel motivated. He doesn't give himself a pep talk. He doesn't fight the tiredness. He just recognizes, oh, This is a day when I don't feel like it, and I'm going anyway. He gets up. He puts on his gym clothes. He walks out the door. And here's the crucial part. It doesn't feel good. The workout is sluggish. His energy is low. He doesn't hit any personal records. There's no euphoria, no runner's high, no Instagram-worthy moment. It's just done. 45 minutes later, he's back home, showering, getting ready for work. That evening, they both get home around the same time. Maya opens her laptop to work on her business, but she's been off all day. The momentum feels broken. She scrolls Instagram instead, looking at other people's businesses, feeling simultaneously inspired and inadequate. She closes the laptop after 20 minutes. I'll work on it tomorrow when I have more energy. Jordan gets home. He's tired too, really tired. But he opens his design software and sets a timer for 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes, he tells himself. Then I can stop. He works for 32 minutes. Doesn't finish the project. Makes small progress. Logs it. Stops. Goes to bed. To an outside observer, this day is completely unremarkable for both of them. Maya took one rest day and had a lazy evening. Jordan had a mediocre workout and a short work session. Neither day seemed significant. But there's a principle in physics called trajectory. If you fire two arrows from the same bow, at the same time, aim at the same target, but one arrow is off by just 1 degree, for the first few feet, you can't even tell they're on different paths. But after 100 yards, one arrow hits the bullseye. The other arrow is in a completely different field. February 8th is when Maya and Jordan's arrows separated by 1 degree. Nobody noticed. Not their friends. Not their families. Not even them. But the angle had changed. Let me show you what the next 9 months look like for Maya. Because this is where the pattern becomes visible. This is where the motivation chaser's curse reveals itself. March 15th. Maya hasn't been to the gym in 5 weeks. It wasn't a conscious decision. It was a series of small, reasonable decisions that compounded into inertia. 1 rest day became 2. 2 became a rest week. I'm just recovering. Then life happened. A work deadline. A friend's crisis. Her car needed repairs. All legitimate reasons. All true obstacles. But somehow, Jordan encountered the same work deadline. The same unexpected expenses. And his streak never broke. Maya's business idea. She's made no real progress since February. She still has a domain name. She still has the notes. She still has the intention. But the excitement has faded. And without the excitement, the work feels heavy. Then something happens. March 18th. She's scrolling Instagram and sees a transformation post. Someone she went to high school with is now absolutely shredded, posting about their fitness journey. And just like that, whoosh, the motivation comes flooding back. That's IT, she thinks. I'm starting again. Today. Right now. She doesn't just think it. She posts about it. Taking control of my health again. No excuses. Here we go. Flex biceps # Transformation Tuesday. She buys a new workout program. $97. This one is different. It has meal plans, video coaching, a community forum. This is what she was missing before. Day 1. Again, she's back at it. 6 a.m. New energy. New program. New her. For 11 days, she's absolutely on fire. And then, her friend's bachelorette party weekend in Vegas. She returns home on Monday, exhausted, bloated, and 4 pounds heavier. The motivation is gone again. The new program sits unopened on her laptop. I'll restart next Monday. Fresh week, fresh start. This is the cycle. May 1st. New month, new restart. This time it's a different trigger. Her company announces summer is coming, and the team is planning a beach trip. Panic motivation. She signs up for a gym membership. $45 per month. Goes hard for 16 days straight. Lost 3 pounds. Feels amazing. Then she gets sick. Actually sick this time. Strep throat. Doctor's orders. Rest. By the time she's healthy again, 2 weeks have passed, and the momentum is dust. July 4th weekend. Another restart. This time inspired by a podcast about discipline she listened to on a road trip. This time I'm actually going to build a habit, she tells Jordan over coffee. Jordan nods, says nothing. He's now 30 pounds lighter than he was in January. He's landed 7 freelance clients. His side income last month was $3,200. But Maya doesn't ask about his journey. She's too busy explaining her new strategy. September, October, November, the same cycle. Different triggers, different programs, different promises to herself. A viral TikTok, a New Year's approaching, a breakup that makes her want to work on herself. Each restart feels like progress. Each time, she genuinely believes, this is a time it sticks. December 20th. She's having dinner with Jordan, and she's explaining her plan for January 1st. I'm going all in 2025, she says. New year, new me, for real this time. Jordan looks at his friend. She looks almost identical to how she looked 355 days ago. Maybe 8 pounds heavier. Maybe a little more tired around the eyes. Her business domain expired last month. She forgot to renew it. She has $11,200 in her savings account, up from $8,400, but only because she picked up extra shifts, not because her business materialized. And here's the tragic part. Maya worked hard this year. She had dozens of day ones. She had more motivation than most people experience in 5 years. She bought 4 different workout programs, 3 business courses, 7 self-help books. She tried. God, she tried so hard. But there's an ancient proverb that captures her entire year. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Intention without consistency is just expensive daydreaming. And Maya has been spending a fortune in money, time, and emotional energy on dreams that restart before they compound. December 31st. New Year's Eve. She's at the same party she was at 365 days ago. She finds Jordan in the crowd. Ready to actually do it this time? She asks, smiling, hopeful. Jordan hugs her. Always here for you, he says. But he doesn't make a new pact. He doesn't write on a napkin. Because he realized something Maya still hasn't. You don't need a fresh start. You need a system that survives the staleness. Let's talk about what Jordan understood that Maya never did. It wasn't about wanting it more. Maya wanted transformation just as desperately as Jordan did, maybe more. It wasn't about talent or genetics or having fewer responsibilities. They had the same advantages and the same obstacles. The difference was framework. See, Maya was operating under the motivation model. Feel inspired. Take action. Wait to feel inspired again. Take action again. It's reactive. It's emotional. And it's utterly exhausting because every single day requires a new internal battle about whether you feel like it. Jordan was operating under something completely different. Something I call the discipline architecture. Make one predecision. Eliminate the daily decision. Execute regardless of feeling. Let time do the compounding. Let me break down what this actually means. January 2nd, day 2 of his transformation. Jordan did something Maya never did. He made a predecision. He wrote this down. I go to the gym every weekday at 6 a.m., not when I feel motivated, not when I'm inspired. At 6 a.m. on weekdays, I go to the gym. That's the law. Notice the language. Not, I'll try to go, or I want to go, or I should go. I go. Present tense. Declarative. A law of physics, not a goal. He did the same thing with his side business. After dinner, I work on design for a minimum of 30 minutes. Every night. Non-negotiable. Now here's where it gets interesting. By removing the decision from the daily moment, he removed 99% of the friction. Because here's what most people don't understand about willpower. Willpower is a finite resource. Every time you ever decide, should I work out today? You're spending willpower points. Every time you negotiate with yourself about whether to work on your business, you're draining the tank. Maya was spending 40 willpower points every single morning just deciding whether to get out of bed. Jordan spent 0 because the decision was already made last January. But there's something even more powerful happening under the surface. The math of accumulation. You probably heard the compound interest thought experiment. Would you rather have $1 million today or a penny that doubles every day for 30 days? Most people know the answer now. The penny becomes $10.7 million by day 30. But do you know what's happening on day 5? The penny is worth 32 cents. On day 10, $10.24. On day 15, $327. For half the month, it looks like nothing is happening. The $1 million looks like the obvious winner. But by day 30, it's not even close. This is what was happening in Jordan's life. And he couldn't see it either. In February, he lost 6 pounds. Maya, during her burst, had lost 5 and gained it back, basically even. In March, Jordan's side income was $400. Maya's was $0, but she bought a $97 program. So technically she was at minus $97. Still not a dramatic difference. But every single day Jordan showed up, even the days it sucked, even the days it was boring, even the days he saw 0 results, was a deposit into the compound machine. Maya's restarts, those were withdrawals. Every time she stopped and restarted, she went back to day 1. The compound clock reset to 0. There's a precise mathematical formula for this. It's called the aggregation of marginal gains. If you get 1% better every single day for a year, you don't end up 365% better. You end up 37 times better. But here's the brutal flip side. If you get 1% worse every day for a year, or even if you just break even by restarting, you end up at 0.03. You don't just stay the same. You actually decline. Because stagnation in a world that's moving forward is the same as moving backward. Jordan wasn't superhuman. He wasn't special. He just understood that there's an old truth that every master, every champion, every person who's built something real knows. The amateur waits for inspiration. The professional has a system. Motivation is a visitor. It comes when it wants. It leaves without warning. Discipline is the architecture. It's the foundation. It's the predecision that makes the daily decision irrelevant. And that architecture, it's learnable. Let me show you exactly how he built it. All right, let's get tactical. Because I can hear some of you thinking, that's great that Jordan had discipline, but how did he actually do it where he didn't feel like it? Let me show you his system. And I promise you, it's simpler than you think. The core principle. Make the commitment so small that your mood can't overpower it. Here's what most people do wrong. They set the bar at the outcome. I'm going to work out for an hour. I'm going to write 2,000 words. I'm going to build my entire website this weekend. And when they don't feel motivated, that bar looks impossible to clear. So they don't even try. Jordan did something different. He set the bar at showing up. His gym commitment wasn't, I will work out for 60 minutes. It was, I will put on gym clothes and go to the gym. That's it. That's the whole commitment. Some days, he'd get there and only do 15 minutes. Some days, just a warm up and stretch. And here's the crucial part. He counted those as wins. Because the commitment wasn't the workout. The commitment was the showing up. The same thing with his business. His commitment wasn't, I will finish the client project tonight. It was, I will open my design software and work for a minimum of 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That's laughably small, right? But here's what happens with a 10-minute commitment. On the bad days, the days you're exhausted, unmotivated, drained, you can do 10 minutes. You can. It's so small that your brain can't justify not doing it. And 10 minutes of progress beats 0 minutes of progress. But here's the magic. On most days, once you start, you keep going. The 10-minute minimum becomes 30 minutes, or an hour, because the hardest part isn't the work. The hardest part is starting the work. Physics, again. A body at rest wants to stay at rest. A body in motion wants to stay in motion. Your job isn't to commit to the full motion. Your job is to overcome the inertia of rest. Let me give you his exact micro-commitments from January 2nd. 1. Gym. Put on gym clothes and enter the gym. Minimum session, 10 minutes. 2. Business. Open design software. Minimum work, 10 minutes. 3. Health. Prepare 1 real meal per day. Minimum. scrambled eggs and vegetables. Notice what's missing? No outcome metrics. No lose 30 pounds. No make $10,000. No launch full website. Just behaviors. Just showing up. Because outcomes are outside your control. Behavior is entirely within your control. And here's the psychological trick that makes this work. Humans are terrible at making themselves do hard things. But humans are excellent at protecting their identity. When Jordan's alarm went off on those brutal mornings in February and March, he wasn't asking himself, "Do I feel like working out?" He was asking himself, "Am I the kind of person who keeps commitments to himself?" And the answer, every single time, was, "Yes, I am." So he got up, not because it felt good, because it matched his identity. There's a reason the ancient Stoics had a saying, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Maya was trying to feel excellent before acting excellent. Jordan was acting excellent repeatedly until it became his identity. One more critical piece of his system. He tracked everything, not in some complicated app with 47 data points and graphs and color-coded metrics. Just a simple checklist on a piece of paper. Every day had 3 boxes. Gym business meal. That's it. At the end of the day, he'd check them off. Or he wouldn't. The visual feedback was instant. The accountability was to himself. By April, he had a 52-day streak on gym, 47 on business. He deliberately took weekends off. 56 on meal prep. The streaks became their own motivation, not the hyped-up fireworks, "I'm going to change the world" motivation. The quiet, steady, "I don't break my streak" motivation. Here's what I want you to understand. Jordan didn't have more discipline than Maya. He just had a better system for discipline. Maya was relying on her feelings. Jordan was relying on his pre-decisions and micro-commitments. Maya was trying to run willpower sprints. Jordan built a conveyor belt that moved without him having to push it every day. And after 6 months of this, his brain had literally rewired. Let me show you what that looks like. There's something happening inside Jordan's brain between months 6 and 12 that's invisible to everyone, including him. But it's the most important transformation in this entire story. His brain is physically changing. Every time you do something, anything, your brain creates a neural pathway. Think of it like walking through a forest. The first time you walk through dense woods, it's hard. You're pushing through brush, stepping over logs, carving a path. The second time, it's slightly easier. There's a faint path now. The 10th time, there's a clear trail. The 100th time, there's a highway. You can walk it in the dark. You can walk it distracted. You can walk it while thinking about something else entirely. It's become automatic. This is called myelination, the process of your brain wrapping frequently used neural pathways in a fatty sheath that makes the signal faster, stronger, and more automatic. By month 6, Jordan's 6 a.m. gym pathway is a superhighway. He doesn't negotiate anymore. He doesn't decide. His body starts moving before his conscious mind even fully wakes up. It's become what neuroscientists call a contextual cue automation. The alarm sound is the action. There's no gap between trigger and response. But something even deeper is happening. His identity is changing. In January, if you'd asked Jordan, "Are you a gym person?" he would have said, "I'm trying to be." In July, if you ask him the same question, he doesn't even understand it. "Am I a gym person?" Yeah, I go to the gym every morning. That's just what I do." It's not an aspiration anymore. It's a description. He's not trying to be disciplined. He is disciplined. And here's where it gets really interesting. Once your identity changes, the action stops requiring willpower. Think about it. Do you need willpower to brush your teeth? No, because you're a person who brushes their teeth. It's part of your identity. Not brushing would feel wrong. Jordan has reached that state with his commitments. Not working out doesn't feel like taking a break anymore. It feels like breaking character, like an actor walking off stage mid-performance. There's actually a day in August where Jordan gets food poisoning. He's legitimately sick. Can't keep anything down, dizzy. Should absolutely stay in bed. And you know what he does? He still puts on his gym clothes. He doesn't work out. He's not stupid, but he drives to the gym, walks in, sits on a bench for 5 minutes, and drives home. His roommate thinks he's insane. But Jordan isn't doing it for the workout. He's doing it for the identity. He's proving to himself, even when I can't do the thing, I'm still the person who shows up. The streak isn't broken. The identity isn't compromised. Now, let's contrast this with Maya in month 8. She's in another restart phase. This time it's a 21-day challenge she found on Instagram. Day 1. She's fired up. Post about it. Here we go. Who's with me? Day 4. Still going strong. Day 9. She skips a day because of a work dinner. Day 10. She tells herself she'll make it up tomorrow. Day 11. Tomorrow becomes, I'll restart on Monday. By day 15, the challenge is forgotten. Not because she failed. Because in her mind, nothing fundamental about her identity changed. She was trying a challenge. She was attempting transformation. She was doing discipline, not being disciplined. There's a profound difference. When you're doing something, you can stop doing it. It's an action. When you're being something, stopping means becoming someone else. It's an identity. Jordan's transformation wasn't about the gym. It wasn't about the business. It was about the answer to one question. Who am I? In January, he might have said, I'm someone who wants to be better. In December, he says, I'm someone who commits and follows through. I'm someone who builds. I'm someone you can count on, including myself. That's not positive affirmation. That's not fake it till you make it. That's evidence-based identity. He has a calendar with 287 check marks that proves it. He has a body that's 35 pounds lighter that proves it. He has a bank account with $31,000 in side income that proves it. The transformation isn't what he did. The transformation is who he became. And here's the truth that most self-help gurus will never tell you. Becoming is boring. It's not a dramatic montage with epic music. It's showing up on a random Tuesday in March when you don't feel like it. It's doing the 10th rep when no one's watching. It's opening a laptop for 10 minutes when you'd rather watch Netflix. It's 1,000 tiny, unremarkable decisions that no one will ever applaud. But there's wisdom in this. An ancient truth that monks and masters have known forever. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But what they don't tell you is the second part. The journey continues with the second step, and the third, and the 400th. It's not the first step that transforms you. It's the 400th step that you take when the first step is long forgotten, when no one's cheering, when you stop posting about it. That's the step that makes you different. By December, Jordan doesn't even remember what motivated feels like. He doesn't need it. He's got something better. He's got inevitable. December 31st. 5 years later. Same party. Same venue. Same group of friends counting down to midnight. But Maya and Jordan? They're not the same people who made that pact 5 years ago. Let's start with Maya. She's standing by the bar, drink in hand, talking to someone she hasn't seen in a few years. Physically, she looks almost identical to 5 years ago. Maybe 12 pounds heavier. Maybe a few more stress lines around the eyes. She's still at the same company. Different title. She got one promotion, but same general role, same frustrations. Her savings account has $18,000, up from $8,400 5 years ago, which sounds good until you realize that's just $2,000 per year in savings, barely keeping pace with inflation. The business idea? She has a new one now. The coaching thing didn't pan out, but she's thinking about starting a social media consulting agency. She has a notebook full of ideas. She's been thinking about it for 8 months. If you ask her what happened, why is she still at the starting line of most of her dreams, she'll tell you. Life just got in the way, you know? Work's been crazy. I had that health scare with my mom. My car broke down twice. Plus, the economy, the pandemic, just timing was never right. And here's the thing. Every single one of those obstacles was real. Her mom did have a health scare. Work was demanding. The car did break down. All true, but Jordan experienced. His dad's cancer diagnosis and treatment, getting laid off from his job for 3 months, a relationship ending badly, a car accident that totaled his vehicle, the same pandemic, same economy, same world. So why does Maya look basically the same, while Jordan is standing on the other side of the room? And if you know him 5 years ago, you wouldn't even recognize him. Physically, he's a different human. He's 47 pounds lighter than 5 years ago. But it's not just weight, it's composition. He's got visible muscle definition. He moves differently, confident, grounded, comfortable in his body. He's wearing clothes that actually fit. He's talking to a small group, and you can see people leaning in, genuinely interested in what he's saying. Because Jordan isn't at that company anymore. He quit 18 months ago. His side business? It's not a side business anymore. It's his full-time income. He runs a design agency. Started with just him freelancing. Now he has 2 contractors working with him. Last year's revenue, $186,000. His calendar is managed down to the hour. His gym sessions are blocked out like client meetings. His financial systems are automated. He owns a condo he lives in, saved up and bought it 2 years ago. But here's what you can't see in the stats. The confidence. The way he speaks, measured, calm, certain. The way he makes decisions, quickly, without the paralyzing doubt. The way he carries himself, like someone who trusts himself because he has years of evidence that he follows through. There's a woman at the party who's been watching him. She introduces herself. "You seem really together," she says. "What do you do?" Jordan smiles. "I'm a designer. But more than that, I build things. I show up and I build." Simple answer. But it's the truest thing about him. Across the room, Maya sees Jordan. She waves. He waves back. They navigate through the crowd to each other. "Jordan, oh my God, you look amazing." They hug. It's genuine. They're still friends. "You too," Jordan says kindly. "So, are you doing the New Year's resolution thing again this year?" Jordan asks gently. Maya laughs, a little embarrassed. "You know me. Every year, I say I'm going to finally stick to it. This time, though, I'm really—" She stops mid-sentence, because she said this exact sentence to Jordan for 5 years in a row. And they both know it. There's a long pause. "Can I ask you something?" Maya says quietly, "How did you actually do it? Like, for real, what's your secret?" Jordan takes a breath. "There's no secret, Maya. I just stop, wait to feel ready. That's it. But what about motivation? What about when you don't feel like it?" "I go anyway. I decided 5 years ago that how I feel about it doesn't get a vote anymore." Maya looks at him, really looks at him. 5 years ago, they were identical. Same dreams, same obstacles, same starting line. Today, they're not even in the same universe. And the only difference was that Jordan stopped negotiating with himself in February of year 1. And Maya never stopped negotiating. She's restarted 23 times in 5 years. He started once and never stopped. She accumulated 23 day ones. He accumulated 1,827 consecutive days. There's a phrase that Jordan read somewhere in year 2 that became his mantra. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. But he realized it applied to more than people. Motivation wants to go fast. It sprints, it peaks, it burns bright. Discipline wants to go far. It walks, it persists, it compounds. Maya chose the sprinter for 5 years. Jordan chose the marathoner. And now, 5 years later, the sprinter is still at the starting line, out of breath. The marathoner is 1,827 miles away, still moving, barely breathing hard. The countdown begins. 10, 9, 8. Maya joins in, shouting with everyone else. Jordan stands quietly, watching. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Maya turns to Jordan, smiling. "New year, new me, right?" Jordan hugs her. "I hope so, Maya. I really do." But as he pulls away, he knows the truth. New year doesn't create new you. New daily decisions, repeated for years, create new you. And Maya still hasn't made that decision. So here we are, You just watched 5 years of two lives diverge from the exact same starting point. And I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking one of two things. Either, I'm Maya. That's me. I've been restarting for years. Or, I could become Maya. I'm on that path right now. Good, because recognition is the first step. But recognition alone doesn't change anything. Maya recognizes her pattern every single January. She sees it. She acknowledges it. She promises to change it. And then February comes and motivation fades and negotiation begins again. So let's do something different. Let's not just recognize the pattern. Let's break the pattern. Right now, today, here's what I need you to understand. 5 years from now, you will arrive somewhere. That's not a metaphor. That's not motivational fluff. That's time. Time moves whether you move or not. February 13th, 2031 will come. The only question is, who will you be when it arrives? Will you be someone who accumulated 5 more years of day ones? Or will you be someone who started one time and never stopped? The choice isn't made 5 years from now. The choice is made today. Actually, no. The choice is made in the next 10 minutes. Here's your system. Jordan's system. The one that works. Step 1, make one predecision. Not 10 goals. Not a transformation plan. One commitment. Pick the single most important behavior that, if you did it consistently, would change your life. Maybe it's, I go to the gym every morning at 6 a.m. I write for 15 minutes every day after breakfast. I work on my business for 30 minutes every evening. Write it down. Right now. In present tense. As a law. Not, I will try to, or I want to. I action that time. That's what I do. Step 2. Make it so small you can't fail. Your commitment is not the outcome. Your commitment is showing up. Don't commit to lose 30 pounds. Commit to put on gym clothes and enter the gym for a minimum of 10 minutes. Don't commit to build $1 million business. Commit to open the laptop and work for 10 minutes. The outcome will take care of itself. Your job is to make the showing up so easy that your mood can't overpower it. Step 3, track it visibly. Get a piece of paper. Make a calendar. Make boxes. Every day, you either check the box or you don't. The streak becomes the motivation, not the fireworks motivation. The quiet, steady, I don't break my streak motivation. Step 4, protect the identity, not the performance. There will be days you can only do 10 minutes. That's fine. That's a win. Because you're not protecting your workout. You're protecting your identity as someone who shows up. Even on your worst days, you're building evidence that you're the kind of person who keeps commitments to yourself. And after 100 days, 200 days, 500 days of that evidence, you don't need motivation anymore. You become disciplined. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen in the next 48 hours. You're going to feel motivated right now. This video, this story, Maya and Jordan, it's going to fire you up. You're going to want to start today. You're going to want to change everything. And here's the trap. That motivation will fade by Thursday. When it does, and it will, that's not a failure. That's the actual test. That's when you find out if you're building on motivation or building on discipline. Because here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Discipline isn't sexy. Discipline is waking up on a random Tuesday in March when excitement is gone, the novelty is dead, no one's watching, no one cares. And doing it anyway. That's the day that separates Maya from Jordan. That's the day that separates the people who wish from the people who become. And you know what the beautiful thing is? That Tuesday in March isn't 5 years away. It's 2 months away. You don't have to maintain this for 5 years to see results. You maintain it for 60 days and you'll be physically different. You maintain it for 90 days, and your confidence will be different. You maintain it for 180 days, and your entire life trajectory will be different. But it starts with day one, not January 1st, not Monday, not when things calm down. Today. So here's what I want you to do right now. Pause this video. Yes, actually pause it. Get a piece of paper or open a note on your phone. Write down your one predecision. I action at specific time. That's what I do. Make it small. Make it impossible to fail at showing up. Set your alarm for tomorrow. And when that alarm goes off and you don't feel like it and your bed is warm and you're tired, remember Maya and Jordan. Same starting line. Different choice. You're not a motivation chaser stuck in an endless loop of day ones. You're an architect. You're a builder. And builders don't wait for inspiration. They show up, they lay bricks, and they trust the process. 5 years from now, you're going to look back at today, and you're going to remember it as one of two things. Either the day you decided to change, or the day you changed. Decide all you want, but change requires action. Repeated action. Boring, unglamorous, no one's watching action. That's discipline. That's the builder. That's who you become when motivation abandons you. I'll leave you with one final thought. There's an ancient wisdom that's been repeated across every culture, every generation, every master who's ever built anything real. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. You can't change the past 5 years. You can't get back the restarts, the false starts, the could-have beens. But you can plant the tree today. And 5 years from now, you'll have a tree. Or you'll be holding another seed, wishing you planted it. Your choice. Make it now. Start today. Not when you feel ready. Now, go. One more thing before you go. If this video hit you, if you saw yourself in Maya's cycle and want to become Jordan, do two things. First, hit subscribe. Not because I need the numbers, but because you need the reminder. Every time you see a video from this channel in your feed, it's a nudge, a checkpoint, a mirror asking, are you still building or are you restarting again? Consider that subscription your first small commitment. Your first, I'm serious this time, move that costs you nothing but proves you mean it. Second, share this with someone who's stuck in the restart loop. Your friend who keeps talking about the gym. Your sibling who's been planning to start for 3 years. Your co-worker who has all the talent but none of the follow-through. Don't share it to be preachy. Share it because Maya and Jordan's story might be the wake-up call they need. And 5 years from now, they'll thank you for caring enough to send it. You just spent 30 minutes watching this. Don't let it become another piece of content you consumed and forgot. Make the predecision. Set the alarm. Start tomorrow. And I'll see you in the next video, where we go even deeper into the systems that separate dreamers from builders. Now go, for real this time,